Alright. So first off, I don't have any credentials. I am a 2700 off-tank player with no coaching experience, and you should absolutely not trust anything I say. At best case, you should listen and consider for yourself whether my advice is meaningful or not. I have watched a ton of coaching VODs. It's a hobby of mine, and I do mostly try to draw from like things I've heard from there and what those coaches care about when giving my advice. I mostly watch Coach Spilo, and lately, because Coach Spilo is doing Overwatch League things, I have watched Coach Temporal. You shift here. This is the first thing. Coach Spilo says shift is used in two ways. One is when your team is in danger of dying and they need extra healing. The second is after a gravitic flux or something that damages your whole team and your whole team could use a boost. ML7 has a third way he uses it, which is if someone needs healing and he can't afford to look at them. And here, your team is not in danger of dying. You completely wasted this shift. It is not a big deal. Like, I think this would only be a big deal if you were in a scrim, because your Zarya just like whiffed both her bubbles, and then you yourself whiffed your shift. So you're down 3 cooldowns, and if this team were a very coordinated team, I think they could push out and roll you for that. Okay. So there, you mistimed your lamp a little bit. You mentioned on Reddit that your lamp positioning and timing could be better, and I think it could be. I looked at all your lamps in this game, and I don't think it's a huge deal, though. For timing in particular, I think that's a game sense thing. You just gotta play and throw a lot of lamps and get a good feel for how much damage is coming in, because you do want to lamp as late as possible to get the most value from it. There, I think you missed some left clicks. Alright. Yeah, you missed some left clicks here. You missed quite a few left clicks. So, if there's ever an enemy on your screen, you should at least be shoot healing. I think you know this. I think you just don't have the practice with it. But I want to show you how many left clicks you missed here. So, that wasn't one. That probably wasn't one. You missed one there, I think. You missed 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you missed at least 5 there, and those could have been shoot heals. Shoot heal is less healing, so I'm not experienced enough to make the call whether shoot healing is better than shoot healing. But those should have at least been shoot heals, and Baptiste does 72 damage, I think, per left click. So that could have been like 360 damage that your team could have had here, which could have been the difference between life and death for this Ryan. It wasn't. Here, you're peeking without your team. Ryan was kind of giving you free shield, but you peeked a little too wide for that. And it cost you some Mercy Beam and your shift. Okay. This was really unfortunate. Your Doomfist went in, so you guys had to go, but your team had like no resources. You didn't have either Zarya bubble, I don't think. Yeah, and you didn't have your lamp. Your shift just barely came off cooldown. I don't think you had Fire Strike either. Coach Thor, who I think is an Overwatch contenders coach, he says that there's 3 ways to break a choke. There's a resource advantage, there's bypassing it with dive or SimTP. Why can't I remember the third one? Oh yeah, and then there's angle pressure to pressure them away from the choke. As Baptiste, you do sometimes have the option to help with angle pressure. In this case, it would be jumping up to this window and firing a couple times until you draw attention, then jumping down. The theory behind that is you force one of them to take cover and look at you, and another person probably looks at you. So that's 2 people who aren't now spamming the choke to maybe give your team an opportunity to push. That being said, I don't think this is a very good map to do this on with Baptiste. Also, if your Ryan's being weird and playing this right side, I think playing up here is amazing because it's really safe and it gives your team another angle, and you can heal your Ryan for free. But you didn't have an opportunity to get up here this game, so it looks like you guys are playing for resource advantage, which is fine. It's just kind of unfortunate that your Zarya died, so you don't even have the option of getting ahead on window.
That could have gone.
Okay. Oh yeah. No wait, you died back here. This should have been a big deal. You were peeking this without your team with the window, but they had a sim wall and window. So like this fight should have been over, I think. And this death was kind of needless for that. I think you understand this, like in hindsight. But this made it a 3v5, which shouldn't have been winnable, but you guys get a res, and your Widow gets a pick. So they had no supports, and like it's really lucky you guys won this fight. But you guys would have won it very easily if you didn't actually die there. Alright, so on the Reddit you mentioned this time and you said that you should be doing more damage, and you're absolutely right. I counted a lot of missed left clicks at this particular point. Yeah, if you noticed the sim, which you should have, you should be shooting her. So let's count the missed left clicks here. And this fight should have still been lost for your team. I think they're like 3 of them W key onto point and like throw the fight, and I think that's how you win this fight. So you missed 1, 2. All right, you almost got 1. You missed 1 here, I think, because Zarya was on your screen. 2. I got 3, 4. I'm miscounting this. Let me start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, maybe not that one. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17? Is that right? So it might have been 17 missed shoot heals that you could have done. Which, if their team didn't completely throw this fight, That probably would have made the difference between you winning and losing. That is a ton of missed damage for your team. And you'd have window right now.
I am operating at peak performance level. New defense
I appreciate
Okay.
it.
Okay, here, this shift. If your Zarya was the only one going in and they didn't have bigger things to worry about and they weren't down 2 people, I'd say this is really scary and I think I'd be okay with this shift. But because of these circumstances, I don't think this shift was acceptable. I think this shift was useless. Alright, now here, there is a pretty big general rule that you are breaking. This is 2CP. The big rule is you should not be on point in 2CP. As the support with the biggest heals, you are the most important person to keep alive to win this fight, and you are a liability on point. You're in the middle of nowhere. The enemy team knows that you're who they need to kill if they want to win this fight, so they're going to look at point and they're going to see you and they're going to shoot at you. And even if they didn't shoot at you specifically, you can get hit with AoE stuff. You need to make it hard for them to kill you. There's 2 places you could have gone here. One, I think, is up here. You could have jumped up here, and this would have been safer. It would have cost them very, very precious time to get to you, and you would have had better vision to see what's going on. And the other place I see is up here. And this actually costs you your life. And I don't know about this window placement. Like, your team can use it. I don't know where you should have placed it. Your team gets value out of it. Like, it does something. I'm not good enough to say where you should have placed it, though. So that Ana got 3 shots on you. Ball got a free slam on you with the rest of your team. It cost you your window. Like, you're the only, or your lamp. You were the only person who needed that lamp. You had to use it for yourself. And you end up dying anyway to the Echo. So I think this team fight loss was absolutely on you. And your Mercy spent time rezzing you, which she could have been spent healing. And it was a needless res. And then the fight's lost. Oh yeah, then you disconnect here. Alright.
All better.
Okay. You miss a couple of left clicks somewhere around here. I don't know. Miss 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, that wasn't 1. You missed 5 there, which is 350 damage. This Reinhardt could be almost dead if you'd have been left clicking. Alright, here you miss a couple. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe 5. You saw that more in time. Which could have been impactful. Like you do a lot of damage. This is important. And also, I want to mention your shift here. Your shift was it was a fine shift, but let me show you the range on it because it didn't quite hit the Zarya. There's a little animation. your shift range is about right there. And if they get hit, I think they get this sparkly glow. And Reinhardt got hit by it barely. Sorry, he did not get hit by it. So that's the range on your shift, right there. Okay.
Ready for battle. Ready for battle.
Human strength will only get you so far.
Okay.
My turn.
So I think this positioning is really good. It is out of the way, and it gives you good vision, and you can help your team just fine. It's risky against snipers, but I think you would probably learn soon enough, like before the snipers have an opportunity to shoot you, whether or not they have them, and then you can drop. So I really like this spot, especially because they don't have snipers. Missed a left click there. Okay, this shift. We are breaking the rules on how to use shift. I guess you're trying to hit the Widow, but you didn't hit the Widow, and these guys are full health. The Widow is yellow on your screen. I'm not sure. Like, if you hit the Widow, might have been acceptable, but you still really need your shift for dives. You probably shouldn't have used it anyway. Okay. And because you whiffed your shift there, you couldn't use it in response to the dive. And if you could have, you would not have panic lamped, I don't think. So that shift back there cost you your lamp now. You left clicked fine there. And here, you actually waste your shift again. Like, they are not currently diving you. They're a dive comp mostly. And they are not currently diving you, and these guys are like close to full health. This is a bad shift. It'd be nice to have your shift right now. It'd be nice to have your lamp right now. It'd be nice to have your shift right now. Okay, here you are missing a lot of easy left clicks. Let's look at them. 1, 2, 3. You got one there. Maybe 4. Like 3 easy ones and 1 difficult one, I think. Which actually would have given you maybe 10% ult charge. Which actually might have made a difference in the next fight. Like, their Ana would have gotten 10% ult charge and gotten an early nano, but she ends up getting an ult this fight, and you end up not getting an ult. It probably wouldn't have made a difference because this Doomfist gets picked, and their dive was absolutely amazing. Also, you mentioned this Doomfist getting picked, saying you should have noticed him and lamped, but I think this is a freak accident. This Doomfist was getting sniped by a Pharah he couldn't even see. Like, this was a ridiculous angle that this Pharah is shooting through. And I think it was just really unfortunate, and I think the right call is to trust that your Doomfist wouldn't get picked off by a Pharah there. Like, I don't even think lamping that would have been the right call. And then that shift was fine. I think, actually, you know what? Yeah, I think you were getting shut up by the Pharah. Yeah, you were. You had to shift there, I think. and you got dove by the ball right after. And that lamp was unfortunate. It's just a practice thing, I think. And then you'd have had lamp, or you'd have Ant Matrix right now. Yeah, you probably couldn't have gotten value out of it, but maybe it could have done something if you had it. If you didn't miss left clicks earlier. And then I think that's the point. Oh, what was this? That was nothing. Okay. And that just gotta be the point. Okay. So next you play Lucio. I'm gonna skip Lucio for now. I saw on your Reddit that you don't care about your Lucio right now, but before I read your Reddit post, I actually reviewed your replay, so I did the legwork before I read that. So I will show you what I saw there after the Baptiste. So here, your positioning, like it. You moved up with your team. Something you have to do. Now here, you didn't go back top. You should be back top, because look at what happens. Well, so far, nothing. You're not getting punished by it. You whiffed your shift. This was a pretty big shift whiff, I think, because their ball still hasn't dove yet. Your team was full. You had just broken Monkey Bubble, and this monkey is getting out. Like, they probably can't dive you right now. That was a complete whiff on the shift. Yeah, so you get booped because you're playing below instead of above. You get zapped because you're playing below. You get booped again because you're playing below. And if you were up here, like, they could still dive you, they could still shoot fire rockets at you, but that's stuff that's not happening to your core. Like, they're getting, like, free value by you being down here rather than up here. Oh, you're missing left clicks, I think. Yep. I'm gonna count them. 2, 3, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You missed at least 8 left clicks there. Well, at least 7 left clicks there. You missed 1 there. You're back up top. That was good. Now you're moving forward with your team. Ball slam, but your team was safe, so that was a bad shift. Like, if the monkey also jumped in, that shift would have been fine, but he didn't. It was just ball, so you guys weren't in any danger. Shift has a pretty long cooldown. It's pretty important to get value out of it. Your team is all up here. I know you don't expect to take a fight outside of choke, but like, you should have moved up here too as well. Okay. Okay. That shift. Let me look at that. Your Zarya was half. It wasn't terrible. I don't think she was in danger, but she was half. Then the ball comes in. Like, it probably would have been better to shift right when the ball slammed instead of when your Zarya was half. Yeah, I'm okay with that shift. That lamp, like, in hindsight, it was terrible. I think I think that's just a game sense thing where you gotta memorize Mercy behavior, because you didn't know she was gonna zoom past you. Let me look at this shift. Perfectly fine shift. Their dive is in. They're in danger. Their dive is happening. Like, shift is fine. That was unfortunate. And I didn't see... I looked at that quite a bit. I didn't see where you could have positioned better to that for this particular fight to avoid getting killed there. Like, you wouldn't have gotten killed if you didn't waste your lamp here. But I think that's kind of a... I don't know. It's just gonna come with time. Like, you're here, you're away from the core a little bit, and like if you were in core, your team couldn't protect you much better than you out here. So, like, you could have been coast, but that's dangerous because you can get booped. You didn't have time to go up here. You could have been playing inside this doorway, but that's closer to your core and closer to like the AoE spam that they have. They got a lot of AoE. So I don't really see a way you could have positioned there better. So I think that was it for Baptiste. Yep, okay. Now we go back to your Lucio. I think it was around 7 minutes. 9 minutes. Okay. I am not very confident on Lucio. I looked at... Oh my gosh, how do I actually do this? I set up hotkeys for this. There we go. Okay. Oh my gosh, now I need to get back to you. Okay. This isn't working. Okay. Shift there. Okay. So I looked at your speed versus heal usage. It seemed like you were using it generally correctly, and I'm not good enough to go beyond that. Like, you were speeding when your team was in the enemy team's sights and was going somewhere, and you were healing otherwise in general terms. I didn't really look at your amp usage. I think you were using it pretty well. I can't really comment on that. I looked at your boop usage. Your boop usage, you didn't get like any value out of this the entire game, but it was because of your positioning, which I think is your biggest thing to work on, and I'd be very surprised if a better coach than me mentioned otherwise. So I'm not confident you know how to use your boop properly, which is like you boop people you want to kill in and you boop threats out. But that's really, really secondary to your positioning as Lucio. And the last thing is Lucio's general like playstyle and like what his job is. And his job is like, well, he has the Reddit style and the defensive style. And Temporal says both of those styles are fine. You were clearly not playing the Reddit style here, but you weren't really playing the defensive style either. And I'll talk about that a little bit.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Alright, so here it begins. Lucio doesn't want to play on the middle of the lane. You're doing this all game long. He wants to play on walls, generally. If you were playing like on this wall, or like around this corner maybe, or over here, you would have been able to give aura to your whole team still, and you would have had better vision, a slightly better angle for your left clicks, and you would have been like been able to respond quicker, both because you're better vision and because you're already on a wall and you can get to the threat quickly, to people on off angles, which is your Lucio's job to deal with if he can, if he's able to at least delay the off angle pressure. Because you're a Lucio, your gun's not that great, and your aura still works while you are dealing with the off angle. So that is your job as Lucio. And you weren't able to do it because you were playing main all game long, and it started right now. And also, yeah, and here you're playing in the middle, you're taking free damage. I think you took some Echo Sticky damage, and you're taking free zap damage from this Winston for no reason at all. Also, like I said about dealing with off angles, if you're playing up here, you would have seen this Echo. You probably would have seen this Echo. Oops, that's too far. You're playing up here. Oh yeah, also, their only spam is Soldier Echo, and you can zoom around very quickly, so like, you could have like been peeking here a lot and getting extra damage in fairly safely. But either way, like, let me show you what this Echo does. Like, this Echo moved in, you could have already been like jumping over here, I think, and threatening to boop her in. And here, she gets so greedy, and you had an opportunity, if you were playing on walls, I think, to boop her in and get your team the kill on her. You do take free sticky damage there. Like, you saved your amp till there, that was good, I think. Okay, here, I want to show you what this costs you. Okay, so you're in the middle right now. You're in the middle of your team. You're on the floor, and Spylo constantly tells his Lucio players to get off the floor. And this costs you some zap damage. It costs you some Winston jump damage. Like, you could have been playing. Look. You could have been playing on this wall, you could have been playing up here, you could have been playing on this little wall right here, you could have been playing up here on this high ground. And you still would have gotten your amp in, you would have gotten more offensive boot potential, or like on this monkey, which could have helped, or you could have gotten like defensive boops here, if you're playing up here at least. And this ends up costing you, your team, a nano, and you some damage. I want you to see this. You get nanoed by accident because you're in your Ana's way. Like, as an added benefit, you wouldn't have been in your Ana's way. And I don't know if she was aiming at your Diva or your Rhine, but it would have gone to the right target if you were playing Lucio like Lucio needs to be played. Here, you're not on the walls, like, and you probably should have went Reddit mode there. Look how slow you are. You're just playing in the middle of point. Okay, there you did a little bit. That was all right. There you're in the middle of the lane again. You're very easy to pick off. Play the walls. You're in the middle of the lane again. Thought your Rhine was going in, so you speed boosted. That was good.
Time to accelerate.
This is off angle threat. Okay. Where are you? You're there. Should be up here. Up here or over here. Playing around here. If you were here, you'd have seen the Echo come in. And you might have been able to get to her, to boop her, and interrupt her aim at least, possibly even push her out. And there's a good chance you could have saved your McCree there. And here,
Adaptive circuits engaged.
like, I'm not confident in this, but if you were thinking about playing defense, you might have thought that that Echo wasn't a threat anymore, and you needed to like check this and like keep people back while you guys deal with that Echo. And then you might have been able to boot the soldier out, and then he wouldn't have killed anybody. And here he kills you. He kills you possibly because of that reason, and also possibly because you weren't playing walls, and you made it easy for him to aim at you. And also you crossed main while he was aiming at you, which was the biggest mistake there, I think. But you still might have lived. Like, he's aiming at you. You see how slow you moved while you were on the floor? You made it really easy for him, and then you crossed main there. And then, if you'd have survived there, like I think you should have,
10 seconds remaining.
it would have been, is this 5v4 right now? They have 5, you have 4? It would have been oh no, it's a 6v4. They have 6, you have 4, but their Valk's about to end. They only have Diva Bomb left, and you guys would have had 5 ults. So this fight was very winnable if you lived here, and I think you get to point, but not enough of an advantage if you did take the point, I think. No, you take it. You do take it, don't you? I don't remember. No, you don't take it.
I'm just getting started. Understood. Check this out. Oh, let's break this.
I think that life was acceptable. You were playing on the walls some, and you went for high value boops in the desperate situation. Here, you're in the middle of the lane. You're in the middle of the lane. You're in the middle of the lane. You were a very easy pick. And I think that's it for Lucio. I tried to play the walls there, but... Okay, that was it. So,
Initiating match.
here's what I have for you. For your Baptiste, I'm not that confident on the order of importance here, but I think you missed so many left clicks, and that damage adds up so much that I think the main thing you should focus on is what they call weaving. And you know what this is. You know it's important for Baptiste. You just need to consciously work on it. At the very least, left click, right click. I'm more of a fan of double left click, right click, but I'm not. I can't make that judgment call. Like I think it's like a 10% healing drop for like a 90% damage increase. If you can do it, and it also makes the aiming more difficult though. So it is a judgment call type thing, I think, that I can't make. The second thing is your positioning. On second point offense, I think you cost your team the fight, the first fight, by you being on point and being an easy target. And then the third thing, and yeah, I pointed out a couple more. Yeah, like first point, first defense, I think. You were out of position versus their dive. And the third thing, and like I saw so many wasted shifts. and that could be a pretty significant improvement. And I'm not that confident on what's most important for you to improve. I saw pretty decent gains out of all three of these things. Okay. That was it for Baptiste. And for Lucio, the number one thing, and I'd be surprised if any coach told you differently here, as Coach Bilo says, get off the floor. Get off the floor, get off the floor, get off the floor, get off the floor. This will help you play Lucio properly, whether you're trying to play a Reddit style or a defensive style. And this will keep you safer, and this will draw attention from the team and give you better information, give you better left clicks. You need to do this. You have to do this. This is the number one thing you should be working on. And the second thing is think about your role, which is either the Reddit style or the defensive style, and fulfill it. Go try to get those really great offensive boops and disruption if you want to try practicing the Reddit style. And if you want to play the defensive style, be very aware of the off angles and deal with them. All right. And like every coach I've ever followed says that multitasking is a myth. And if you want to improve the fastest, you pick one thing and you practice it for a week or two, and then you reassess, and then you go on to the next thing. So don't try everything at once. One thing at a time. All right. I hope you got something from this. Thank you for watching. Ugh.